Hi, my name is Pi, but I'm not named after the sweet dessert. Instead, I'm named after the mathematical number pi. You see, my mom was a math genius and nothing else mattered to her, and she wanted to make me just like her. Pi, I didn't keep you in my tummy for 394,200 minutes and 30 seconds so you could become a dummy. Come on, tell me what comes after a trillion?
A dinosaur, Mommy?
Ugh, how can you say that? She would just go crazy at my replies, but I didn't want to be a math genius like her. I had my own dreams.
Look, Mom, I want to be on TV, like Hannah Montana.
You can be on TV, but as the greatest mathematician of all time, till then, you gotta stop watching these stupid things, Pi. And then she picked up the entire TV set and threw it out of the house. And she just got crazier. Once in the 4th grade, Mom barged into my classroom after my teacher failed me in my math test, and she went all bonkers on him. You must be my daughter's math teacher because you even look like a moron. And what do you even teach here? Top 10 tips on how to suck at math? Mom pushed the math teacher aside and started solving the problems on the board. The teacher tried to snatch the marker from her, and the kids started shouting, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" The principal called security to drag Mom out, and I was the laughing stock. Then one day in 7th grade, I went with Mom to the supermarket, and I saw some people outside the shop with cameras. They were shooting for a TV show. This was freaking awesome! As Mom was busy shopping, I sneaked out and joined the crowd. But the female lead was a terrible actor, and she couldn't even faint for a scene. After the 79th take, when the director shouted, "Action!" I jumped in and fell to the ground. Everyone rushed in to check on me because they thought I'd actually fainted. See? That's how you faint! The whole crew went, "Wow!" Even better, the director gave me his card and asked me to come audition next month for the lead role in a new TV series. OMG, this was like a dream come true. Now I just had to tell Mom about it, but before I could, something terrible happened. At night, I suddenly woke up because I could smell something burning. I ran down and saw the whole kitchen was on fire. I quickly grabbed the extinguisher and sprayed all over the place, but my sleeve caught fire and I screamed. Mom came running and took me to the hospital immediately. I had heavy burns all over my left arm. It took me weeks to recover, and Mom was the saddest about it. "I'm so sorry, baby. It was my fault. I put milk on the stove and started working on a math problem and completely forgot about it for hours. Please forgive me, Pi." Of course, I knew it wasn't her fault, but I was worried about something else. A TV lead with burn scars? A week later, I went straight to the director's studio for the audition, and he was so excited to see me. But just as I removed my jacket, everyone looked horrified. "Oh, what's that on your arm? How did I not see it that day? I don't want someone like this to be my lead. Don't waste my time and just leave, please." I ran home crying and hugged my mom as soon as I saw her. I told her everything, but she had the weirdest reply. "Oh, don't be sad, honey. Now that your stupid dream is over, you can focus on much better things in life." Stupid? My dream wasn't stupid. I pushed her away and ran to my room, slamming the door hard. The next morning, we had an uninvited guest at our doorstep, Mom's niece, Mia. She was the same age as me and was going to live with us for a while since my aunt was volunteering in Africa as a medical professional. But Mom didn't seem happy about it at all. Why me? She could have gone to her grandparents. How am I going to look after 2 kids now? Mia looked kinda sad when she heard Mom ranting, but I made sure she felt super comfortable in my presence. I showed her around the house and asked her to sleep in my room with me. But when I took off my jacket, Mia suddenly screamed. "OMG, what's that on your arm?" "It's a burn scar. Don't be scared." "Oh, I'm so sorry that I screamed like that. It must have hurt you a lot, right?" And saying that, she hugged me. Gosh, she was the sweetest. Later that evening, I saw Mia scribbling something on Mom's desk. I ran to warn her, but Mom popped up sooner, and she was furious. "Nobody touches my workspace, Mia. Nobody. Not even Einstein. I'm gonna kick you out if you've ruined something." But then suddenly, I saw Mom's eyes almost pop out with shock. "Oh my, how did you solve this? You're a genius, Mia. You're the daughter I've always wanted. I'm gonna make you the next Archimedes." And in no time, Mom became best friends with her. and I suddenly became her least favorite. They talked about matrices and algebra, even at the dinner table, and laughed over stupid inside math jokes.
What did the triangle say to the circle? You're pointless! Gosh, I was low-key hating it now.
A few days later, I was shocked as soon as I entered my room. All my stuff was gone. When I asked Mom about it, she told me she was going to move me to the attic so Mia could have more space to work. Mia said she didn't need so much space, but Mom just pushed me into the attic. This was so unfair. One time, Mia and I returned from school, and all my photos in the house were now replaced with Mia's pictures. I wasn't in any of them. Mom even took out my old childhood photos from there. Mom, where are all my photos? In the attic. We don't need to crowd the walls. But I liked looking at my pictures. Ugh, just look in the mirror for God's sakes, Pi. And it's not like you're super smart that we need your face framed and hung everywhere. I was about to burst with anger, but just then Mia came in with a few of my pictures from the attic and took hers down. Mom looked annoyed, but she stayed quiet. Later that night, I confided in Mia that I wanted to go to some drama auditions for the local theater, and she totally encouraged me. A few weeks later, I went in for the audition, but I was a little hesitant due to my scar. As soon as I got onto the stage, I told the director about it, but his reply shocked me. He said no one could even see my scar from the stage, and all he cared about was my talent. This made me jump with excitement, and I aced the audition. I ran home to tell Mia about it, and she was the happiest. The next morning, I woke up to see Mom and Mia getting ready to go out. Mia said there was an award ceremony at Mom's Math Club Association, and she was getting an award. OMG, Mom, that's so cool. Can I come with you too? Please. She agreed, and I was so proud to see her on stage. I couldn't have achieved this without my daughter's support. She's my everything. I'm so blessed to have her. I would be happy if you all could see her. I stood up from my seat and waved at the crowd. But suddenly Mom said, Mia, my darling, please come to the stage. What the crap? How could she humiliate me like that in public? This was it. As soon as we reached home, I confronted her. What was that, Mom? How can you treat me like that? Because that's how you have treated me and my passion. You didn't even try learning for my sake. So I can't treat you any better. I always wanted to bring the genius out in you, but you're so silly and crazy with your dumb acting dream. Enough, Mom. You're right. My dream might be silly, but it's mine, and it's important to me. Just like your dream is important to you. You made it big, and I'll do that too. Because I'm your daughter, stubborn and crazy about my dream, just like you. I stormed off to my room, and Mia came in later and consoled me. After that, I didn't talk to Mom for days. I was busy practicing for my play, and on my big day, I was on stage as Rapunzel. But before I could start, I saw Mom in the crowd. Oh my God, what was she doing here? And just as I was reciting my dialogue, I got a little too emotional and mixed up in my feelings with my lines. You were right, Mom, but the thing is, I wanted to know who I was and where I belonged. I want you to be proud of me, but I can't do it at the cost of my own happiness. And just as I ended my line, I was shocked to see Mom cheering for me in the crowd and wiping tears off her cheeks. I couldn't believe it. Did I make her proud? When the play ended, Mom came backstage and hugged me tightly. I'm sorry, Pi. I had no idea you acted so well. You're so talented. And I'm sorry I never took you seriously. I've been so blind, and I'm so glad Mia brought me here today. Mia? OMG, she was the best. As soon as I reached home, I hugged her. You're the best, Mia. I love you. All thanks to you, Mom came to the play, and she loved it. We went ahead and partied all night. But much later, I woke up to some sound and saw Mia sneaking out of the bedroom. What was wrong? I followed her, and then what I saw next shocked me to my bones. She was copying Mom's research into a hard drive and clearing all the data from her computer. Mia, stop it! What are you doing? And for the first time, I saw a really strange expression on Mia's face, and it wasn't sweet.
Oh God, not you. Go away. Even the sight of you pisses me off.
What? What do you mean?
I thought Aunt would go see your stupid play and humiliate you, but it turns out she's blinded by her stupid motherly love for you and is all proud of that silly stuff you do. When in reality, I'm supposed to be the only one she would be proud of, her true genius daughter.
God, I had no idea you were so evil all along. I thought of you as my real sister.
Oh, cut the stupid emotional talk. I hate you and I'm leaving for good. But before that, I'm gonna take what's mine. I have worked on this research too, and now I'm gonna sell it for millions.
No, I can't let you do that to Mom. And saying that, I jumped on her. Soon we broke into a wild fight, and Mom came rushing in after hearing all the noise. Mom, Mia's trying to steal all your research and sell it for money.
No, she's lying. She's jealous of me and my bond with you, so she wants to break us apart now. She's the one who's stealing it because she hates you. Please, don't trust her.
Mom broke us apart and she held Mia firmly by the arms. No, you're lying. I trust my daughter, and I know she'd never do anything to hurt me. She loves me more than I deserve. You thought I'd judge her based on your stupid words? Not happening. I'm calling your mother right now, and you're leaving my house the first thing tomorrow.
No, Aunt, wait, no, this is a mistake.
I ran to Mom and hugged her, and the next day, Mia was sent back to her home. And after that, Mom and I grew quite close, and she supported me all the way.
Nora, don't worry, she won't find out.
You don't know my mom.
Stop worrying, have some fun. This carnival is only set up here once every 5 years. Yeah, look, have some of my cotton candy. Oh, look, it's a mini roller coaster. Let's go on that one. Then I want to go to the haunted house.
Fine. I had an exhilarating night. I was only 14 years old, and it was the first time I'd ever snuck out with my friends. You're probably wondering why I needed to sneak out, because what I was doing with my friends was totally harmless. Well, my mom was a total tiger mom. I wasn't allowed to do anything. I was only allowed to go to and from school, and she completely controlled all of my extracurricular activities. I had gymnastics on Tuesdays and Thursdays, piano on Wednesdays, and swimming on Fridays. Apart from those days, I had to be either at home or school. If I went anywhere, it had to be with her, my dad, and my younger sister Lily. I wasn't allowed to have sleepovers with my friends or to go to any of theirs. I had to top every single class or I was punished. And just like the original Tiger Mom, my mom didn't allow me to participate in anything fun at school. No school plays, no fun days, nothing. In fact, if my mom found out that we were having a fun activity at school on a particular day, she'd force me to stay home to study. If you think this sounds awful, keep watching because it gets worse, especially after my little escapade with my friends. So you can probably guess that sometimes I felt like I needed a break. I was frustrated and sad. And when my friends suggested that I sneak out to go to the carnival, I hesitated for a while, but I eventually agreed. I thought my plan was foolproof. I'd come home after school and tell her that I had a big test to study for the next day. Then I'd change my clothes and sneak out of my window to meet my friends. My mom never disturbed me while I was studying, so I felt like I didn't have to worry about that. I left the window open a bit, so it'd be easier to sneak back in when I got back. I came back home at about 7, which is not late at all, right? After having the time of my life, I thought my night could only get better, but boy was I wrong. I opened my bedroom window and tiptoed inside. I walked over to my light and switched it on.
Oh, so you're back?
Mom, what are you doing in here?
Should I be the one asking questions right now?
I went over to Emily's house to study instead of staying here.
Don't lie to me. Look at this picture Emily posted a few minutes ago on Instagram. You were all at that carnival downtown. Look, isn't this you?
She pushed the phone in front of my face and I recognized myself. Mom, you're following Emily on Instagram? I didn't even know you had an account.
I made a fake account so I'd know what you're doing all the time. It's finally served me well. Now explain yourself.
I explained to my mom that I needed a break. I told her the truth, hoping she'd go easy on me, but...
That's it. You're not allowed to have friends anymore.
What?
You heard me. And you're changing schools by the end of the week.
What? But that punishment makes no sense.
What makes no sense is your behavior. Go shower and go to bed.
My mom left my room. I had a miserable shower, then went to sleep crying. I hoped that I'd wake up the next day and she'd have changed her mind, but when I got up, she told me I'd be staying home that day. She took my sister to school and my dad left for work. I was home alone for a while, then my mom came back with a huge smile on her face.
You got in.
In where?
Into the most prestigious private school in our state. Here, I already bought your uniforms. Go try them on.
The uniforms were hideous. It was a white undershirt, orange jacket, and a plaid green and orange skirt. I looked at myself in the mirror and felt like I was going to barf.
Wow, that looks awesome! You're starting tomorrow.
Can I say goodbye to my friends one last time?
No.
I wanted to cry. The next day, my mom dropped me off at my new school. Before I got out of the car, she reminded me that I wasn't allowed to have friends.
If they say hello, you can say hello back, but that's as far as it goes. If I find out that you are making any friends, there will be severe consequences. And trust me when I say severe.
I got out of the car and she said nothing comforting to me. So here I was, starting a new school, for no reason. Why did she have to be like this? I walked into the building and everyone ignored me. We're off to a great start, I guess, I thought. I tried to find my way to the principal's office because I had no idea what class I was in or where I was supposed to be going. The place was so huge that I ended up getting lost, so I asked a cute little first-year student to help me, and she took me to the office.
Hello, are you Nora?
Yes, ma'am.
I've heard lots of awful things about you. Your mother says you're totally out of control, but this place is sure to straighten you out.
My mother said, what? At this point, I was about to explode. I was a perfect child with straight A's and exemplary behavior. I'd only done a bad thing once. And this is what she said about me?
Don't worry. I believe in new beginnings. This is a great school. Here, I printed your schedule for you. Your first class is French.
She walked me to my first class. The teacher wasted no time and asked me to introduce myself in French to the entire class. I was a bit embarrassed, but by the time I was done, some of my classmates were clapping.
Wow, your French is perfect. How lovely.
I sat next to a cute boy who winked at me and smiled. I smiled back, then sat down and took out my notebook. After class, he walked over to my desk.
Hey, my name is Jamal. What's yours?
It's Nora.
Do you want me to show you around the school? I could meet you at lunchtime and give you a tour.
Sure, I quickly replied because, like I already mentioned, he was cute. Like, really cute. Like, no boys at my previous school were this cute. But then I remembered what my mom said, and I was crushed. Wait a minute, I just remembered I have something to do in the library. Maybe I can meet you after school. I ran to look for my next class and spent the rest of the day trying to avoid him. That night, as I tried to fall asleep, all I could think about was Jamal and his cute smile. I wished I could at least get to know him, and I wished I was allowed to have friends. The next day, he tried to sit next to me for every class. I kept giving him one-word responses when he spoke to me, but he didn't seem annoyed or frustrated at all. Instead, he became more persistent. The day after, he started passing me notes.
You're shy, aren't you? By the way, you have gorgeous eyes.
I melted. I decided to write one back. I'm not really shy. It's just that my mom says I'm not allowed to have friends. Also, I think you're really cute. He blushed as he read it, and we continued passing notes to each other for the rest of the day. His last note that day was,
Have a wonderful night. Love always, your secret friend.
Now if you think this story is just another love story with a happy ending waiting to happen, think again. Because in my life, good moments just don't last. We continued passing each other notes for about a week. Then one Friday afternoon, he sent this.
It's been great talking to you, and I'm glad you transferred to this school. Since I'm your secret friend, do you think maybe we could go on a secret date sometime?
I smiled at him and shoved the note into my backpack. I thought about how wonderful it would be, just me and him on a hot date. But how would we pull that off? I decided I'd go home and think about it. The next day, I couldn't really concentrate on anything because I was thinking about how I could go on a date with Jamal. After dinner, I went up to my room to get started on my homework, and my mom was standing there looking angrier than I'd ever seen her.
What is this?
What, Mom?
I found this note in your backpack.
Mom, why are you going through my things?
Because I don't trust you. So first you sneak out with some girls, and now you're making plans to meet a boy? And you've been talking to him? When I specifically told you that you're not allowed to speak to anyone? You're despicable, Nora.
She left my room and slammed the door. I was terrified because I didn't know what to expect next. I couldn't concentrate on any homework because my mind was racing. I went to my bed and fell asleep. The next morning, I woke up to loud banging noises on my bedroom door. I opened the door and saw 2 cops standing outside.
Are you Nora?
Yes?
Pack a bag, you're coming with us.
My mom appeared behind them smirking. Mom, what's going on? Where am I going? I can't be going to jail for passing notes in class. That's crazy.
I told them what you did.
What?
That you've been stealing from that convenience store a few blocks away.
What are you talking about? I've never stolen a thing in my life. She turned to one of the police officers and tried to explain to him that I was just lying. But at that moment, I started to realize what my mother had done. She'd framed me for a crime, and now my life was going to take a horrible turn. I didn't know what to do, so I left with the police. I mean, where would I run? And my mom was clearly doing nothing to defend me. And don't talk about my dad. He just let her do anything.
So listen, dear. We all do wrong things in life. This is why rehabilitation centers exist, and I'm hoping that the one we take you to will transform your life.
Rehabilitation center?
You're going to juvie, darling.
What? No! I burst into tears. There was no way I'd last more than a second in there. I was as fragile as a rose, and they were about to put me in a place with a bunch of rough girls who had done really bad things. Can you imagine the horror? It was more awful than I could have imagined. There were 5 girls assigned to each room, and it seemed like the girls in my room didn't like me from the beginning. We had to wake up at 5 o'clock every morning to shower and get ready for the day. We had classes in the center, so I wasn't allowed to go to school, and I had no way to communicate with Jamal. I was heartbroken, and I hoped he didn't think I just left without saying goodbye. The middle of the day was when we were allowed to go outside for a while to play sports. This is when many fights happened, so sometimes that part of the day was canceled. It was sometime during my second week, I met Gina on the basketball court. She looked like one of the baddest girls in there, but for some strange reason, she seemed to like me.
You don't look like you belong here. What did you do?
Nothing. My mom just hates me.
I understand. I mean, I've done lots of awful things, but my mom hates me too. I'll look out for you, little Nora.
She winked. I don't even know where she learnt my name. Gina came to my defense several times in that place. There was this one time some girls wanted to beat me up for some shampoo, but she taught them a lesson, and they never bothered me again. It turned out that we were supposed to get out at the same time, and when we discovered this, she had a bright idea.
Don't go back there.
Where?
To your house. Your mom is only going to make your life more miserable.
So, where am I going to go?
Come with me. You can stay with my family. Well, not my biological family, my street family. We'll take care of you. Then you can talk to Jamal all you want.
So I sat down and considered both of my options. The first was to go back home with my mom, who would continue hurting me for no reason, or to go with my new friend to a completely different life, where I would have more control. What do you think I chose? I went with Gina. When we were both released, I hid behind her as she walked to her friend's car. My mom was also there to pick me up, but I made sure she didn't see me, and then we sped away. My life is still complicated today, though. I don't go to school anymore, and I've had to do lots of bad things to survive, but I'm much happier than I was before. Jamal and I text all the time now, but I'm not sure I'm his type anymore. I hope that someday I will be able to save enough